A couple of folks were asking about another Linux video, so I figured I'd make one about my experiences trying to stream on my Thinkpad from my Making Pierogies video. If you haven't checked it out, don't, because it was extremely janky. That was definitely a test it in live moment since I had never actually tried streaming on my Thinkpad before, but hey, there's a first time for everything. Well, first, the main reason the ThinkPad was convenient was because it actually had USB-A ports, and the mic and webcam I was using were both USB-A. I actually have a MacBook Air that is better specs-wise, but it only had USB-C ports, and I had no A to C adapters. Okay, so the first annoyance was trying to get the right audio input and output since this was the only GUI I could find for the audio. There's probably some, I don't know, command line interface or like some additional GUI software that has a bunch more details and knobs to turn, but I didn't really want to Google that during the stream. So the issue was that even though I was pretty sure I had the right setup in this interface, OBS didn't seem to actually respect that, and there were moments where either the audio input was using the wrong mic or there was no audio at all. Restarting OBS seemed to help. Okay, so after that, another problem I encountered was that I couldn't actually get VTube Studio to work. VTube Studio is not technically supported on Linux, but I'm able to stream with it fine on my desktop that's also running Fedora. I was unable to get my phone to connect to VTube Studio on Fedora with the sway spin on my ThinkPad. I'm guessing it was because I was using the Wi-Fi connect, and maybe on my desktop there's some like automatic firewall update pop-up thing from Fedora KDE that lets my phone through, but I probably have to like update the firewall manually on the Fedora Sway on my ThinkPad. I also tried the USB connection, but it kept complaining that it couldn't connect to my iPhone. I think Fedora does come with some like Apple iPhone connection driver thing pre-installed, but maybe it wasn't enough and you needed iTunes for VTube Studio to connect via USB, or at least that's how I got it to work on my Windows machine with VTube Studio. So I just gave up and used a little PNG tuber. Ain't she cute? By the way, check out this detail. My friend told me to add it. This is my cat and he's orange. Okay, finally the issue that might actually render streaming from my ThinkPad not actually possible were the constant lags and delays that the stream went through. At first, I thought it was my Wi-Fi, but then I plugged an Ethernet to my laptop, which it still has an Ethernet port, which is pretty cool. And the bit rate coming from OBS seems solid, so I think the issue was the encoding step. My laptop felt physically hot to the touch by like the hour mark, so I'm guessing it might not have been able to keep up with the encoding burden and thus fell behind on sending bits over to the YouTube servers. I haven't tried streaming with a lower resolution like 720p or 360p, so maybe my laptop could handle that. And I'm not saying that ThinkPads are like too underpowered or anything. I think it's just the one I have is already several generations behind and is also the lightweight version. So the ThinkPads with the fancy AMD processors could probably handle streaming just fine. And of course they also have like workstation versions and just they have other lines with beefier specs. So all in all, I think the next time I try to do an IRL live stream, in real life live stream, I'll just invest in like longer cables to connect to my desktop. So then I can use my regular mic and maybe try to get a better camera too. Stay tuned!